Hey everyone! It's been a while since I've done a channel update, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that. Uh, I do want to lead off by first saying, as a reminder, I encourage everybody to come to my Twitch channel. Link should be down at the bottom. I have a lot more fun doing this when I get a chance to talk to all of you, and hey, you get to be immortalized in the chat bar on the right. Um, this YouTube is just kind of a dumping ground for the most part. There's almost no exclusive content on here anymore, except for stuff like this. So yeah, please check that out. I'd really appreciate it. Now, the recording has been a little more. It's been a little more frequent, but also kind of more sporadic. What I mean by that is I try to adhere to a schedule and it just doesn't work out because work has been killer lately. Not just because of the pandemic itself, just because I work for a bunch of idiots. That's just the way it works. I mean, everybody knows that feeling, right? If you're lucky enough to have intelligent management, good for you. I am quite jealous. But sometimes I just get home and I'm like, I'll have plans to do something on a stream, and I'll get home and it's like I just don't feel like it. I just want to sit back, watch YouTube, and bullshit on Oblivion or something, right? Play one of my old man games. Um, but when I do get to streaming, I usually feel really inspired to do so. And while I'm in the middle of a big project right now with Persona 5, and we just finished the 4 job tactics challenge, I'll be looking for more things to do either in between as a short thing or for longer projects after we're done with Persona 5. And with that being said, I'm here to ask you folks what you want to see. Now, I'm not looking for specific games, right? We've done that before. Because I've got plenty of ideas, but I could use a little help narrowing the genre, shall we say. Now, I have a bunch of different categories here. I'm going to go over them. If you could leave a comment asking or saying which, you don't have to pick just one, but saying which categories you'd like to see, I'd really appreciate it. So starting off, we have LPs, like the old stuff, what most of my channel is. For that, we're talking about two different styles. We're talking about classic with reading and voice acting, stuff that I've done for Skies Arcadia, what I'm doing now for Persona 5, stuff like that, where I read just about everything. These are exceptionally long, but they are fairly thorough. These require the most effort, and these have the highest chance of burnout these days. But if it's a game that really inspires me, I'm willing to do it. Now, there's also ones I hadn't really considered before, but may consider now. Is an full LP without reading. I mean, and I don't mean just a game that has no really reading anyway. I'm talking you take a game that has a lot of reading and just ignore the text. Now, a big thing this would include would be import games, or, and this is going to tickle some people's fancy, I'm sure, SRW games, Super Robot Wars. One of the biggest turnoffs is all the fucking reading I have to do. And I really got burned out when I was trying to do the translation stuff for Z3. I'd be more willing to return to SRW if I didn't have to read. I don't, because I already find it hard to do that much reading in the first place. It kind of wears me out a little bit. So that's an option. So that's it for LPs. Next we have randomizers. Now this includes stuff that we've seen plenty of before. Wings of Time for Chrono Trigger, Free Enterprise for Final Fantasy IV, Career Day for Final Fantasy V, etc. Stuff where you take an old game and it just randomizes all the elements of it. This makes for something unique each time. It could lead to something where I won't say speed run, but I'll say I could try for better times or something like that. I suppose I could have included speed run as a different category on here. I guess I could put that in a maybe pile of doing. This isn't really related to randomizers, but I guess speedrun could be sort of a maybe category. I could never be as good as an actual speedrunner because I don't have the time to devote. But I mean, I could try try my hand at doing something like that sometimes. See if I can get like somewhat close. I'd probably never even get that close, but if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, I guess that's a thing. So that's randomizers and speedruns? Question mark out of the way. And if you're really going to request speedruns, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you really want to see it, nothing terribly long. We're not talking like a Final Fantasy 9 speedrun or something like that requires like close to 10 hours or longer or something like that. We're talking something I can do in a few hours. Like something like the length of Phantasy Star 4. Final Fantasy... Two games I'd always consider for doing... Like, if I wanted to try my hands at speedrunning and wanted to do something longer, it'd be something like Phantasy Star 4 or Final Fantasy 5. Something I really know well. Maybe enough of that, because that's probably not going to happen. Next category, roguelikes. Talking games like Dead Cells, Slay the Spire, Monster Train, which is, by the way, super cool. It's a lot like Slay the Spire, but yet like really different in its own way. Binding of Isaac, stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't necessarily have an end. We wouldn't be doing it as an LP. It was just like, hey, it's roguelike day. Today I'm playing Dead Cells or whatever. This kind of ties in with a later category, but and we won't necessarily ever complete the game. It's just like, hey, you want to see a run of Binding of Isaac? Sure, we'll do that today. And the rest that's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. Just roguelikes. Challenges. This includes stuff like the 4-Job Fiesta or the 4-Job Tactics that we did just recently. The Final Fantasy VI 4-character challenge. I'm having trouble thinking of others off the top of my head, but there's tons out there. Like, I have a list pulled up somewhere that just has like tons of different self-imposed challenges, restrictions, stuff like that. And plus, the 4-Job Fiesta thing can be applied to like a lot of things. You could apply it to Tactics Advance, or I just thought a bunch of these the other day, and now I've forgotten them. Not so much for that. But you get the idea. Challenges. Something where we're not going to read text or whatever. It's a game we're familiar with, and we're going to find a way to make it hard. Or at least harder. And the last category I have here is just random content. This is stuff like retro requests, the shameless promotions where I try and get the word out about a new game, or just some game that I'm just like a big fan of and want everybody to play, Random content that's just like, this is a one-shot or a mini-shot, or multi-shot, whatever you want to call it, with absolutely no promise of continuity or completion. Like, I may play a game one day, that has some sort of progress in it, right? And then we're done for the day. I play some more off-camera, and then I come back to it later, and it's like you've missed a big chunk or whatever. Like, it's just random content, whatever I feel like showing, or whatever. It's just no continuity, not necessarily any completion, whatever. This could also include like short LPs, but that's kind of what falls into retro requests, because there's some games you can do within like an hour or whatever. And yeah. So those are our categories. LPs, it's split into classic and no reading, randomizers, roguelikes, challenges, random content, and speedrun, question mark? The speedrun is the heaviest air quotes ever. And that's all I've got for you folks today. So if you could take the time to leave a comment, let me know what kind of stuff you would like to see. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to check me out on Twitch, and I'll catch you guys later.